down with me? Who wants you down with me? Down with me? I got a crowd wrapping round the whole town for me. They mama proud, got a thou in the balcony. Nah, 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 I don't hear no clown talking foul on me.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the sixth episode of What Are Y'all's podcast. It's your host JMX here with my co-host Ryan. And today, hey man, it was a great Sunday. I can't even lie. My team got the dub. Ryan's team got the dub, and it was a lot of upsets. It was a lot of things we got right, and there's a lot of things we got wrong. But all in all, I say it's a good Sunday. But Ryan, man, how you feeling?
Man, I'm chilling. I'm a little bit sick, so if my voice is completely gone, I'm very very sorry. But yeah, besides that, I'm chilling. Steelers won. Yeah, I'm chilling.
All right, bet. That sounds good. All right, so we're gonna go over a few of the. I'm gonna start kind of with the games I want to go over briefly. Starting with the Seahawks versus the Dolphins. Miami traveled to Seattle. I'm not gonna lie, everybody kind of picked Seattle to win this game, and it kind of went that way. That's why I want to kind of go over it briefly. The fact that what's Mike McDaniel's his name, right? I'm just trying to get that right. Yeah, a lot of these guys kind of have the same sounding names.
The Dolphins coach or the Seahawks coach?
The Dolphins coach.
Yeah,
It's Mike
yeah, yeah,
McDaniel.
yeah.
Yeah,
McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel. Him rolling out with Skylar Thompson on a serious note, I knew it was going to be a disaster, and it was just that. He got hurt twice. Went 13 for 19, 107 yards. Went got sacked 5 times. I mean, he was just pretty much didn't really do anything. The offense for Miami looks terrible without Tua, which is kind of expected, but I expect him to go sign a Ryan Tannehill or possibly even a Cam Newton at this point. Um, and just going over Seattle real quick. They handled their business. Gino didn't look great by any means necessary. Shout out to the Dolphins defense. Their defense is really good. But Zach Charbonnet is my main guy to take away. DK had himself a day. For some reason, Ramsey wasn't on him as much as I would have hoped. But I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, Seattle handled business, but Gino's gotta be better moving forward. And the Dolphins gotta go sign a quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I think especially Tyreek not really having any involvement in the first half whatsoever. Granted, damn near the whole game. But I mean, the first half, I think he had like one catch, or like like one reception. Like I don't know exactly the stats, but like he wasn't involved a lot in the game plan. Um, I'm sure in the game plan, he just wasn't in the game much. Jalen Waddle, same thing. I mean, they kind of took him out of the game. Um, I don't know, like the whole offense, like Tua, in my opinion, isn't like a great quarterback. But like I think if any starting quarterback goes out, your offense is most likely going to look like trash. Um, and this is just another example. I mean, the Dolphins had one of the best offenses, and their starting quarterback goes down, and they put up 3 points. Yeah, for the Seahawks, basically the same thing. I mean, I think DK ate. He did. He had a pretty good game. Um, Zach Charbonnet stepped up as well. I thought it was like I'm a big wide receiver guy. I thought the catch Tyler Lockett had to move the chains where he was like falling backwards almost, but he like caught it like this, but like the ball was like right there, and he was like falling back, and he got up and like ran for the first down. That was a pretty nice catch as well. But yeah, and then I think you said a couple episodes ago, the Seahawks defense is like legit. I know I just talk trash or whatever about the Dolphins offense, but like the Seahawks defense needs to also be appreciated. Like they came to play today.
The Dolphins, I will say this, they're gonna have to go this bad. I mean, but Skylar Thompson is that bad. But I mean, like I said, I mean, it's not getting 5 targets is a crime, regardless of who's in that quarterback. But I just don't understand. I mean, Tim Boyle's a better option, but it's like you got. I think Ryan Tannehill, or they got Tyler Huntley in the building. Maybe they can work some things out with him, but I just don't think this is the offense for him to thrive in. I think you got to go out and get another guy, but that's just me. Moving on into the next game, I want to go over briefly. Green Bay travel to Tennessee. I didn't see to win this game, but Green Bay, let's just say the least, they handle business. Um, Ryan's boy, I'll start with the Titans. Ryan's boy, Will Levis, had himself another day. 26 for 34, not bad. 260, two touchdowns, two interceptions. Got sacked 8 times, and QBR of 15. And they couldn't run the ball for anything. I ain't gonna lie, Packers had him clamped up. One thing I will say, just to go over Tennessee real quick, is that Will Levis, man, his shenanigans. Because I really like that word too. Like I'm gonna call him his shenanigans. Him trying to hurdle two people, him like, I mean, just getting obliterated, throwing the ball in double coverage, testing Jair Alexander. I mean, it's just shenanigans, man. And I don't think Will Levis is this bad as he's playing. I just think like I don't even know what to think, bro. Like, I mean, he's playing bad. Like, but it's it's some good things to take away from it as well. I just think that they got to find a way to mesh. I think he's letting this social media thing really get to him, the people clowning him. But that's my take for Tennessee. Green Bay, they handle business. Shout out to Malik Willis, had the revenge game. He won it. I mean, 13 for 19, 202, a touchdown, 3 sacks, QBR of 92. And he got 73 yards on the ground. They ain't really lean on Jacobs today. I mean, he had the most carries, but he didn't really do too much. They didn't, and I mean, they spread the ball around pretty well. And it was really the defense, man. The defense just took over and won this game completely. But shout out to Matt LaFleur, man. I mean, got to be one of the best coaches in the league for sure. Because Malik Willis was terrible in Tennessee.
Yeah, I think I said it last episode. Um, I think Will Levis is all right. Like he's okay, but like he just always makes that one or two decisions and like mistakes every game that always cost him the game. Like that pick six by Jair. It's like, dude, that could have been like it would have been, let's say, 21, what, 23 for the game. It's like you're telling me the Titans would have played the game a little bit differently if they weren't getting completely blown out.
Yeah,
It's like, dude, like I'm glad to see D Hop got involved a little bit. He was kind of non-existent for the first two games.
he was hurt.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that and Pollard, what, he only had like 5 or 6 carries. I mean that's not really enough. Like I get it, you're losing, so like you obviously
Yeah.
got to pass the ball. But yeah, and then again back to the Packers. I think their defense is elite, great defense. Um, it's nice seeing kind of what Matt LaFleur can kind of
Scraped together.
yeah, and like kind of like some of the play calls that it's like getting everybody involved almost. Like it's very nice. And again, like Romeo Dobbs only had 1 reception. Jaden Reed only had 4. Christian Watson only had 2. But like they still absolutely obliterated the Titans. It's like, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean the
nah.
Packers played a good game.
Yeah, and one thing I really picked Tennessee. I thought Tennessee was gonna win this game, and the one thing Matt LaFleur did was just like you said, get everybody involved. But he got everybody involved in the run game. Jaden Reed was getting touches. Chris Brooks, Josh Jacobs, Wilson, Malik Willis himself, and he completed passes, it wasn't really anything too crazy. I mean, he spread the ball around pretty well. But you could like guys like Romeo Doubs and like the tight ends, they're not gonna get that involved because he doesn't fully trust him to open up the playbook to those type of guys. But I mean, hey man, they did their job. But yeah, man, Tennessee, they got a real decision to make at quarterback. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I mean, at this point, I say just stick with Will. I don't know who else. I don't know who their backup is, but I think at this point, you just gotta stick with Will and hopefully the turnovers. 'Cause I mean, I would say not all the turnovers are on him, but the turnovers are just so bad. Like that's the thing. Like the turnovers are just so bad that it's like, bro, even the ones that's not your fault, it's like, bro, but you like you still did that. Like you still threw the ball in double coverage. You still tested Jair Alexander on a comeback route. But yeah, I mean, it's just in the fumble. I mean, it's bad, man. But the
Yeah,
line has to do better protecting
yeah.
him as well.
I think that's probably, like, as much as we kind of going on Levis a little bit. That offensive line was awful, and yeah, Mason
Eight
Rudolph is
sacks
the
is
backup
crazy.
as well. So I mean,
Oh
you
my god.
yeah, I mean, like, he played solid for the last half in Pittsburgh, but like it really wasn't anything like he played solid, but like I don't know, I just don't really have faith in him to actually come in and lead the team.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Moving on to the next game, I kind of want to go over briefly. The Giants versus the Browns. Giants winning the Cleveland got a dub today, 21-15. Um, I'll start with the Giants. Daniel Jones had a decent day. I'm not going to sit here and say he had a bad day by any means. Of course, he didn't. 24 for 34, 236, two touchdowns. But I mean, a lot of it wasn't anything spectacular. Singletary had, decent day on the ground, 16 carries, 65 yards. But the story for the Giants was Malik Neighbors, for sure, for sure. 8 catches, 78 yards, two touchdowns, had the nasty bean top, and then the crazy touchdown where he kind of went like a 360 in the air, really put his whole body on the line to make that touchdown catch. Shout out to him. I think he's the youngest receiver in NFL history to get two touchdowns in a game. So shout out to him. The defense balled out. I mean, what, 8 sacks? I mean, hey, look, we'll get into. I'm gonna get into why, but I mean, shout out to the Giants, man. 8 sacks is insane. Going to the Browns, I don't know. I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to give a take about them because you don't know. Like, I mean, I watched the game, but I don't know 100% whether I'm gonna put the blame on Deshaun, put the blame on the line. But I'm a full believer in if you get the ball out quick enough, you make the offensive line look better. And I feel like Deshaun is holding on to the ball a little bit too long. Not every play, because there were some plays today where he had absolutely no time to throw the ball. But I think it's going kind of hand in hand with each other. The line isn't that good right now, and Deshaun isn't that good. I mean, they can't run the ball for shit. And it's not even the fact that Jerome Ford isn't a bad bag. They just can't run the ball. And I mean, Amari Cooper had a good day, but Jerry Judy is just he's not getting the looks that he wants. And I mean, Deshaun fumbling the ball twice, 2 turnovers on the day. I mean, it just they had to be better. They had the talent to be better. And it's got to start with Deshaun Watson at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. I think especially with neighbors, dude, he's legit. He's a legit guy. Um, he's the best weapon, like receiving weapon they've had in New York since OBJ. And dude, he's legit. He's like that's all I can say about him.
Yeah, nah, he's a dog,
I
bro.
did think it was funny how they started off the game with
Mhm.
the Giants fumbling the kick return, and then the next play, the Browns scored a touchdown. I'm like, oh, this game is over already. This game is over. So
Yeah.
I kind of didn't really pay attention to it as much. And then when Neighbors got his second touchdown, I think it was to go 21-7. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
21-7.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh, like this might be like a legit game, you know? Um, yeah. I mean, going with the Browns, it's like I don't know. Again, like I tried to pay attention to the game, but like I wasn't really fully invested in the game.
Yeah.
Um, dude, did Miles Garrett like show up to the game at all, or did he just
Yeah,
like
no,
was he
no,
playing, or because I
yeah,
mean
no,
not on his
no,
stat sheet. Like I don't know. I mean
yeah, no,
I
no,
thought that's
no.
the
So he
defensive player of the year. I
no,
thought that's the
okay, so
defensive player of the year. So like I mean if you're the
no,
deep boy, you
so
gotta step up.
so the thing with Miles Garrett is he did play, but Miles Garrett is playing with two crazy injuries. I think they said he needs surgery on I think two of his toes or something like that. Like he has, like I know he left the game, but I mean he's playing hurt though. Like I know that for a fact. He's definitely playing with some because I think they said like if the season ended today he would have surgery. So I mean, he's playing hurt. I mean, he still had 3 quarterback hits. Like he didn't have just a terrible day, but I mean, he's playing hurt. So you
Let
know,
me slander him. I'm a TJ Watt supporter. Let me slander him. Let me have my day. Um,
yeah, man, I
Yeah, I
can't
don't
let you
know.
do that to
I mean,
Miles.
I remember when TJ, I think he like tore his something in his shoulder
He
first
tore his
game.
pec.
Yeah. First game of the season, he came back and was killing everybody. I think he came back against the Saints and like was killing everybody. And people were like, "Oh no, TJ fell off. TJ fell off. Man, he's getting hurt too much." It's like, bro, like let me have my day in paradise. That's all I'm asking for. I know Miles Garrett's still elite. I know he's still really good. I just want to I just want to have my day.
Yeah, but just to close off, Deshaun Watson got to be better. 21 for 37, only 196 yards. QBR of 27 and a quarterback rating of 89.5. You got to do more, man, at the end of the day. I know the line isn't perfect, but I mean, they're paying you all this money, man. you're gonna have to go out there and eventually be the Deshaun Watson that. Because I mean, hey, look, his line wasn't great in Houston. You see what I'm saying? And you can't even get the weapons or the play calling standpoint. He's got that. So he's got to just be better at the end of the day. You have to go at home and beat the Giants, man. I mean, come on now, you got to win this game. Um, but yeah, going into, I will say, yeah, this is the last game I want to cover kind of briefly. The Panthers got a dub. Hey man, they played the Raiders today. They went into Vegas and got a dub. I'm gonna start off with the Panthers. Yeah, they got the dub 36-22. I'm gonna start off with Carolina real quick. Chuba Hubbard ran the ball really well, 21 carries, 114 yards. That was kind of the shocker for me. Deontay Johnson had 8 catches, a buck 22 tub. Chuba Hubbard got involved in the receiving game as well, 5 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. The defense, I think, played well. I mean, they only got 2 sacks, but they got a lot of PBUs, man. They were kind of all over the place, very scrappy. Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, Lord Jesus. I mean, this dude. Hey, look, and we were all very like, and I was one of the people saying that, I feel like the Panthers failed Bryce Young. I want to give a huge shout out to Dave Canales, real quick. The balls. This man had to bench Bryce Young and was like, I'm not finna be the next Frank Reich. I'm not about to get fired and then have to be either out the league or be the quarterback coach. He said, I didn't draft Bryce Young. I'm finna bench him. We gonna play Andy Dalton and we gonna win us a goddamn game. He said, I'm not finna do this. Like I ain't gonna lie. Respect to him though. He said, I will not start off this year 0-3. And Andy Dalton was sensational. 26 for 37, 319, 3 touchdowns. Only took 2 sacks, 86.9 QBR and 123 passer rating. To go over the Raiders real quick. Gardner Minshew, he had a pretty solid day, but the Panthers defense was just kind of smothering them. They couldn't get anything going. Devontae Adams only had 4 catches for 40 yards, but they threw the ball a lot though. Myers, Tucker, and Devontae were all targeted 9 times. They just really couldn't get anything going offensively. I mean, they scored 22 points. They didn't get anything going really into the fourth quarter, but by that time, the Red Rifle had already ended the game. I mean, he had Adam Thielen looking like this was 2018. Deontay Johnson, this is the best I've seen him look. I'm not gonna lie to you. And Chuba Hubbard, hey man. And look, I know they played the Raiders, but bro, this was the worst team by. They scored 36 points today. 36. Hey, man, I just got to give a shout out, man. I mean, Dave Canales, the balls he had, he said, "I'll be damned. I will not be fired. I'm gonna bench this guy. We gonna start the Red Rifle." But take it away.
Yeah, I think last week when we were giving our predictions, I almost went with the Panthers, and I was just going and talking about how the Panthers were gonna go off. I had a feeling Andy Dalton was gonna come in and just light everything up, and I mean he did. But I think Deontay, I think this is the most receiving yards he's ever had in a game in the NFL. I don't know about obviously about college, but man, he was never playing like this in Pittsburgh. Maybe Big Ben's last year, but yeah,
This
I
was
mean,
crazy.
yeah, dude, like, what's going on with Devontae? Like, I mean, like, I understand they're probably game planning for him and all that, but it's like, again, we talk about it every episode. It's like he's your number one guy. Like, he's the best player on your team, besides maybe Max Crosby. It's
No,
like,
it's Crosby.
dude, like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, he had 9 targets, man, but give a shout out to JC. I mean, he was got shot on him, but I mean, I didn't watch the game too much in detail, so I don't know what exactly was the issue, but
He was on the sideline getting pissed. Like, he
yeah, I
was
know.
pissed.
No, I saw that. I saw Antonio Pierce had a few things to say about it after the game, but I mean, they weren't running the ball well. I'm gonna give a shout out to the Panthers defense. They played a really good game, but I mean, yeah, they got to be better offensively. The Raiders. I mean, that's just kind of what it is. But I want to know the stat for the last time the Panthers have had a 100-yard receiver, a 100-yard rusher, and a 300-yard passer. Like, when is the last time that's happened for them?
I'll do my research. Give me a second.
Like, I really got to figure out the last time that happened. It had to be like, I don't even maybe what the Cam Newton year might be the last year they had that, or like maybe the year when they had Cam, CMC, DJ Moore. Like, it had to be something like that. But yeah, all in all, man, shout out to Carolina. Shout out to Dave Canales, man, and it's just crazy. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. And they're probably gonna. I'm not saying that they're gonna be this team that's just gonna win a lot of games now, but hey, man, they got the Bengals next, and then they got the Bears. Like they can win one of those games. I don't think they're gonna beat the Bengals, but the Bears game looks kind of winnable. Did you find the
I
stat?
yeah, I was looking it up. It was talking about week 8 of 2002. I'm for 2022. My fault. 2002
Oh,
would be crazy.
I was gonna say what?
Let me look see what it was. Was it Texans Panthers? Nah.
It was Texans Panthers.
I'm
Oh yeah, no, it might have been that. It wasn't it like that prime time game? Maybe it
I
had
don't
to be a
know.
game where Cam, man. It was no way it was like Sam Darnold
Well, it says 2022.
where they
Um.
had a 300-yard passer, 100-yard rusher,
Oh,
and
I think it
100.
might have been that game where PJ Walker like tossed up that pass to DJ
DJ
Moore.
Moore.
Yeah, I think it might have been that game.
Wow.
It was yeah. PJ Walker had 317 yards passing.
Mm.
Dante Foreman had 118 yards rushing, and
Wow.
DJ Moore had 152 yards.
Wow. That's crazy, man. That's insane. Shit, I don't want to look that stat up for Denver. But yeah, so going over into the, the
I'll
the
go
more
look.
the more important games of the day before Ryan just completely kills my mood. The Eagles, hey man, the Eagles Saints game. Eagles travel to New Orleans. They get the win. Um, really surprisingly, I think Ryan picked the Saints too. But yeah, he picked the Saints. Yeah, I for sure picked the Saints to win. Jalen Hurts, 29 for 38, 311 passing yards, threw a pick. Didn't have the best day in my opinion. I mean, he had a pretty solid day, but just the turnovers itself and just they didn't really put up a lot of points, but they had the yards. Saquon had a day. Him and Dallas Goddard, man, 147 yards on the ground for Saquon, 2 touchdowns. Dallas Goddard had the 10 Goddard had the 10 catches, 170. Devontae had 7 catches, 79 yards. But I think the Philly they got a lot of stuff to figure out, but this is a good win for them. I don't know. Going over to the Saints, they just had to be better offensively, man. Derek Carr had to be better today. This was the game for him to do it, and the game to kind of show that they were on the elite level. And he threw the game when he threw the game clinching pick, threw it into double coverage. It was a terrible throw, but I mean the defense for the Saints played well in my opinion. I mean I'm not gonna sit there. Yeah, they gave up the yards, but they only gave up 15 points. I mean the Saints, the offense, I expected them to be way better. And like I said, I mean Philly's pass rush isn't that great, and they only came away with 1 sack. Derek Carr, you can't have a 40 QBR and a 69 quarterback rating, man. You just can't have that. I mean, you just got to be better at the end of the day, and that's what it is. I think the Saints will be fine, but overall, you got to be better offensively.
Yeah, I the game really wasn't that competitive. Like it was obviously competitive, but like I guess the right word is exciting. All the way up until like maybe the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
Um, at least in my opinion. I think what's his name? Devonta Smith went out. I think he got hurt. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he got hurt a little.
hmm But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought the Saints were gonna win as well. I mean they almost did. They definitely almost won. I do kind of wonder if towards the end of the game when they threw that pass to that touchdown to Olave when it was what 2 minutes left in the game. I was kind of wondering if they would have just like gotten the first down, made the Eagles use their time, blah blah blah. If they could have just like kicked the field goal and made it like a 9-7 game and just walked out of there like that. Again, I don't know how close they were to the touchdown. If it was because their pass was 13 yards with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left in the game. If they would just ran the ball and somehow gotten a first down and made the Eagles waste all their timeouts, that's something when
What
I
was
was
the
watching
score
it.
of the game? Like
It
I know
was
that
it was
the
7-6.
7.
Yeah, it was 7-6. Saints were down by
Oh,
one with 2 minutes. Well, 2 minutes and 3 seconds left, and that's when Olave got that touchdown.
what down? Wait, I can see what down it was that he got the
Mm-hmm.
touchdown. Let me see. That's interesting because I didn't even peep that. I did not peep that at all. Yeah, so they got the touchdown. Oh, it was second down.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, no, I ain't gonna lie. At the first down, they ran the ball, and then, well, I will say they ran the ball, then they lost a yard, but then they waited 50 seconds to call the second down, and then threw the touchdown. I mean, I understand it. Like, you get the ball, they get the ball with 2 minutes left, but they went down and scored. And really, how they scored, to be honest with you. I mean, I'd have put the game in the hands of my defense too, but I will say it was that crossers, man. It got them. Did you see like three Saints players ran into each other?
no, I
Like,
didn't.
yeah. So on the play that set up Goddard, yeah. So like they ran like a mesh concept, and like on the crossers, everything like that. Goddard's underneath, and then you just see like Goddard's running to the left side of the field. Everybody else is running to the right, and all of the three Saints players just collided with each other and freed up Goddard, and he took it 60 yards, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, I mean, the Saints should have won this game, just
Yeah,
just in my opinion.
it's also way easier said than done to be like, hey, get the first down, make them waste the timeouts, like don't get the touchdown, just walk off with a field goal. It's like obviously like it was just something I was thinking of like like man, they scored, they kind of gave him a little time because they also gave him that 2 minute warning. So it's like I don't know if it counted on the kickoff or what, but I mean I figured they would at least take it into the 2 minute warning, score a touchdown or I don't know, but yeah, I mean credit to the Eagles. They took care of business, especially in that fourth quarter when they needed to. And again, Saquon had a crazy game. And also, real quick, the last time the Broncos have had a 300-yard passer, 100-yard rusher, and 100-yard
Oh
receiving,
my
I
God.
can't find the exact stat, but it says something about Week 1 in 2012,
No way.
and it
Nah,
says
that's
says
impossible.
in a receiver since opening day in 2007. I'm gonna do more research, but
No, it's no way. Cause bro, the Peyton Manning years, there's no way Peyton. It's no way. I don't believe that. I'm pretty sure in 2013 we have to have had multiple games like that. It's no way No Sean Moreno didn't have a 100-yard game. I refuse to believe that. But going into the next game, which I think was kind of a surprise. I mean, we were talking about this game as the game of the morning slate. The Texans traveled to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Vikings destroyed them 34-7. I mean, this game was never really close. It was never really close to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. But like seeing the way the Vikings came out, I just knew this game was gonna go. Sam Darnold went 17 for 28, 181 yards, threw 4 touchdowns, had a QBR 74, quarterback rating of 119. Aaron Jones had himself a day, 102 yards on the ground. Jettas had a good day, 6 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown. Um, and moving over to the Texan side, well, and Darnold did get hurt in this game, but was able to come back. To the Texan side, CJ Stroud, 20 for 31, a touchdown, 2 picks. Quarterback QBR, he had a QBR of 25, quarterback rating of 68. Diggs had a pretty good day for fantasy. Shout out to Stephon Diggs. 10 catches, 94 yards. Nico had 4 catches, 86. Tank had 5 for 62. The defense, though, got picked apart. Um, to really gold star, I'm gonna start with Minnesota. I don't know. Well, I'll say the game plan was really excellent on their part. They threw a lot of schemes at Stroud that he never seen before, and they ran the ball down their throats. And this goes back to kind of like the first game when the Colts did that to them. When the Colts kind of took over that defense, and I'm like, well, look, they did play a Bears team. The defense looked good, but they did play a Bears team, and this defense kind of concerns me a little bit, just from like on the back end standpoint. I'm really concerned with D'Amico's. I'm not saying it's a bad defense, but it does not look good against valid competition. Just does not look good right now. That back end looking really shaky. Um, I'm not even saying that they got bad corners, but just the schemes the Texans were running. Jettas was wide open. There were plays where Jettas didn't have a man in front of him. There were plays that I mean, he didn't have a man in front of him. Like they were lining up corners on him and then blitzing him and like blitzing the DB, leaving Jettas wide open. Aaron Jones was running wide open. And I mean, when Darnold had to step up and put a throw on the money, he did just that. And I mean, Stroud with the 2 picks didn't really help much, but I mean, shout out to the Vikings all around. Defensively, I said it. Brian Flores is making the case that he's the best DC in this league. I mean, this dude is it's not like they have a lot of talent on the defense. Like, he's not out there. I mean, yeah, they got Gilmore and Grenard and Harrison Smith. I mean, but those guys, like, the other guys, they weren't that good. Like I'm saying, before going like being in Minnesota, you got Van Ginkel and stuff, but I mean, he's really elevated this defense. But the Texans are just very underwhelming today. They just couldn't get a rhythm offensively, and the defense got picked apart.
Yeah, something I wrote down while watching the game was that this offense will get better somehow when Hawk and Addison come back, which is like kind of
Oh
crazy to
man,
think about.
oh my god.
Um, dude is as of right now, is Sam Darnold the MVP favorite?
That's crazy.
Like, I
Nah,
mean,
hell.
I guess it's more of a rhetorical question because,
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm not gonna lie to you. I will say who someone on their team. Kevin O'Connell is the coach of the year. Like, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought the Vikings were gonna be bad. I forgot. This dude Kevin O'Connell is a quarterback wizard, bro. I mean, Sam Darnold is dealing. Like, we're not talking about like, what I'm saying, he's just taking gimme throws or layups. Bro, he's putting the ball on the money. Like he's putting throws, like he's throwing throws where I'm like, oh damn, that's kind of risky. And putting on the money, man. And Aaron Jones, I ain't gonna lie, like he's not washed like people thought he was. And Justin Jefferson is still Jettas. And like Ryan, you brought up a good point, man. Just wait till Hawkinson come back and Addison. I ain't gonna lie. Donald's gonna be cooking. Like they real life can win that division. Like they might they come out and now look, it's a real possibility that Donald comes back to earth, but I mean their next 3 games are gonna be very telling. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah. I think they play the Packers next week. I think that's gonna be a big game, kind of show like who's the legit team in the North. I mean, I think you got 3 legit teams in that division. Personally, I'm sure you can
Yeah.
probably agree. Um, man, Brian Flores has these quarterbacks seeing ghosts or
Hell.
something. Yeah, dude, it's
Hell.
like,
It's hell.
dude, it's bad. Like, it's bad. Last week when Purdy was talking about like, man, your scheme is crazy after the game, and on the sideline today, you could see CJ like stressed out. And it's like, granted, obviously, it could be anything. It could be that he could just be upset. It could be taken out of context. It can be whatever. But like, I mean, let's say CJ is a at least top what 10 quarterback in the league, 7, 8,
Yeah,
6,
I
whatever
say
you want to
5.
consider.
I
It's
say between
like
5 and 7.
dude, he had him looking like he didn't know what he was doing. You know, like they brought Davis Mills in at the end of the game. But
Yeah, and one thing I do want to say, it's just very sad too that Kyrie Jackson, may he rest in peace, that he's just not a part of this because they had big plans for him, man. And because I'm looking at their draft, and he was that third guy that they took, and you could just tell he was going to have a big role with this team. It's just so unfortunate seeing how they're winning. Like I just wanted to bring that up real quick, but yeah, man, Brian Flores, he deserves all the flowers. He's gonna be a head coach soon. He's gonna be right back being a head coach. I mean, the fact that he wasn't hired for a lot of those jobs to me is still very criminal. But I mean, yeah, I mean, they got Green Bay next, the Jets, and then the Lions. I think the Green Bay game is gonna be a tough one. It's in Lambeau, and we know the last time that they went to Lambeau, what Jair did to Jettas, boy. Whew. But I mean, we'll see. Because I'm not gonna lie, Green Bay, they gonna run man on them, especially if it's no Jordan Addison. They're gonna really get in their grill a little bit. They're gonna make it hard, and it's gonna be in Lambeau. It's gonna be really hard for Donald that game, but it's gonna probably be a mucky win. But that game, I don't know who's gonna win that game. That's gonna be a very tough one for me. But the Jets and the Lions are gonna be really telling. Um, yeah, those games are gonna be really telling for me with the Vikings. But I mean, hey, look,
especially if they get Love back.
yeah, if they get, that'll be correct. First of all, he doesn't even need to play at this point. But I mean, if they can win 2 out of these next 3, we got to have a real serious conversation here about the Vikings. Like I know, I mean, they beat the Giants. I mean, bro, beating the Niners and the Texans was first off, that's even in the way they beat the Texans. I mean, we'll see how it goes, man. But this team, hey, they got my respect so far. And Jettas is lit. But yeah, going into the next game, hey. Oh man, let's go. Let's go. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into the squad right now, man. In the morning slate. Let's get into it. Uh the Broncos traveled to Tampa and put belt to ass on the Buccaneers. Hey, look, we already know, man. We gave belt to ass. Bo Nix has arrived, baby. And I will say, I was looking, hey man, I was so happy about this game. It caught me completely off guard. I said before the game on my story that I was gonna watch some bullshit. Hey man, what I watched was belt to ass. Real quick, I'm gonna get into Tampa, then I'm gonna get to Denver. Baker struggled 25 for 33, 163 yards, had a touchdown, had a pick. QBR of 10. Quarterback rating of 83.3. Bucky Irvin had himself a good game. No, 9 carries, 70 yards. But hey, where the hell was Mike Evans today? 2 catches, 17 yards. Chris Godwin had he did okay. 6 catches, 53, a touchdown. The defense, they were banged up, obviously without Vita Vea and without Antoine Winfield. But let's transition to Denver real quick. We just got through raving about Brian Flores. Vance Joseph needs his goddamn flowers too. The defensive masterclass that we are putting on through the first 3 weeks of the season needs to be talked about. Riley Moss, Jaquan McMillan, Pastor 10, Brandon Jones. I mean, even the announcers who were obviously rooting for Tampa this game, they were playing the tape saying that this is something they never seen before. How we were clamping these dudes in man coverage the whole game. I mean, clamping. Belt like how many times I gotta say belt to ass that we that our defense put on that offense today. I just want to give a huge shout out to our defense, man. Hey, look, I know Brian Flores may have the schemes, but bro, we running man coverage and we here to stay. 8 sacks. How many? I don't even know. 8 sacks, so many PBUs. I mean, they couldn't get enough. Patrick Surtain, best corner in the league, baby. Mike Evans. Hey, look, I ain't even hear his name called. The only time I saw Mike Evans today is him making a tackle on a forced fumble. That's it. Man, shout out to them boys in Denver, man. Hey, they play good. Going to the offense side of the ball. Javonte Williams got benched. There is still some question marks offensively. Bo looked really good. 25 or 36, 216 yards. Didn't even take a sack today, baby. Quarterback rating of he had a QBR of 80.6 and a rating of 85. Um, I will get into a Cortland Sutton. Still didn't look that good to me. I mean, he was a leading receiver today, but just couldn't create much space. Bo Nix was having to put the ball in immaculate throws, threading the needle for Bo Nix. The running game looks like we're gonna have a new running back one with Tyler Beatty. Javonte Williams got benched today, fumbled. Jaleel McLaughlin had a good touchdown, but it's looking like Tyler Beatty, man, is gonna look like he's gonna take that running back role. And last thing I say about the receiving core, we got to see Troy Franklin and goddamn Marvin Mims. Man, they played today. And Troy Franklin got 5 targets today. And Marvin Mims, he only got 1. But I saw him on the field a lot. Hey, man, it was a good day, man. Bo got his first win 26-7. That defense looking real good. Ryan, give me your thoughts. And you better not hate.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you kind of covered you kind of covered everything. I mean, I was trying to watch the game. Honestly, man, say whatever you want. I wasn't really paying the closest attention to the Broncos Bucks game. All I saw was they was up like what 17-0 whatever going into like it was like almost the end of the second quarter. I was like, yeah, dude, like man, they might actually actually beat them a little bit, like. And then I think got to like the fourth quarter with like a couple minutes left, and red zone went back to it, and I was like, man, they beat them, they won. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you kind of covered everything, Again, like we've been saying the last couple episodes, and this doesn't just go for Bo. I think it goes for all rookie quarterbacks. Man, let them develop. Like I get it. It's like it's only been 3 weeks. Like I get it. Everyone wants to have the hottest of takes and be the first person to say something and blah blah blah. It's like give all these guys time to develop and kind of judge them towards like the end of the season, if not after the rookie season. And I'm a big believer in if the quarterback doesn't work out by the second season, the end of the second season, they probably aren't the guy. Give him a season, give him time. And Bo, I think, looks solid today from what I did see of him. I knew you were going to say something about Mike Evans, too. I was looking at his little stats, and I was like, man, I know he's got something to say about Mike. But, yeah, I mean, again, I really don't got much to say. You kind of covered everything.
Hey, man, I'm just leave it off at this. Shout out to my boy Jaquan McMillan. I talked about him earlier. What a damn good job he did on Chris Godwin today. What a damn good job Riley Moss did today. I'm beautiful. I love man coverage, bro. And it was a beautiful thing to see today. And everybody talking about Brian Flores, like I said, man, hey man, you gotta give Van Joseph his flowers too. We got the number one pass defense in the league. I'm pretty sure after this week, they're gonna say we have the number one pass defense in the league. Cause I think going into this week, we were fourth. Give us our flowers, Ryan. Give us our flowers, man.
Man, I would if you guys weren't holding Pickens the whole game last week, but
We
it's
weren't
all right.
holding nobody,
We still
man,
got that
bro.
dub.
Man, dog, man. I ain't trying to hear none of that. But yeah, it's gonna do. I mean, that's pretty much it, man. Tampa was hurt. I will give them that. They were out there too, arguably best players on the team, Mantron Winfield and Vita Vea. But it doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, Denver, we got a lot of hurdles to fix. I'm not just gonna sit here and say that we're back or anything like that, but we need to definitely have a conversation about Cortland Sutton because this is just completely getting out of hand. He had 7 catches, 68 yards today, but bro, I mean, the balls when Sean Payton has to tell you, there was one throw, I know you didn't see it, but it was like a 3rd and 4, and we were like, should have put up a touchdown. Should have been his first passing touchdown of his career. He throws it to Cortland Sutton. He catches the ball, but he's running a go route, obviously. It's a one-on-one ball in the end zone. Cortland Sutton was out of bounds by the time he got to the end zone. Like, he literally ran out of bounds. And they cut to Sean Payton on the sideline, having to tell him, hey, man, next time, like, hey, look, Ryan, all we saw was his hands, and he's like, you got to move more inside. So I'm looking at that, and I mean, a lot of his catches, man, were just both threading the needle in tight situations. But little Jordan Humphrey still has to get up off my screen too. But I mean, overall, it was still a decent win for us. Definitely made my Sunday. Moving on to the next game, and my tone's completely about to switch because this was one of the worst games I've ever seen from quarterback play wise. I've seen in a while. Probably the Broncos Colts game, and ironically, it's one of the teams. The Bears traveled to Indianapolis today and took a mean L. The Colts won this 21-16. I'm gonna start with the Colts. Anthony Richardson, bro. I mean, look, I understand. Like, I will say he does have to develop, but these throws are inexcusable. I'll just read his stats out: 10 for 20, 167 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, QBR of 17, and a quarterback rating of 39. Jonathan Taylor had a really good day, carried them 110 yards on the ground on 23 carries, had 2 touchdowns. They only completed 10 passes, like I said. Shout out to the defense, and Jalen Jones did really his job. I mean, he had 2 interceptions, 2 crazy interceptions too. Um, and the Colts, man, they just looked. I mean, Anthony Richardson, like I said, passes inexcusable. One of them, he threw it right to the defender in the end zone, and the second one was really bad too. And then Caleb Williams, talk about, I'll go into the Bears real quick. Caleb, 33 out of 50. He threw the ball 52 times, 363 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, took 4 sacks. Terrible. They couldn't run the ball. Romo Dunze had himself a day, though. Caleb had 2 passing touchdowns. Romo Dunze, shout out to him and Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet almost had 100 yards, had 97. And the defense didn't look too bad, but from quarterback wise, both of them, they looked horrible, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, they just did not look good. They're turning the ball over. I mean, Anthony Richardson looked worse, but I mean, God, like I know he does have to develop. It's his third game. It's his third game this year. This is still kind of his rookie year, but I mean, like I said, these throws are in his. I know, but I will say the one he threw in the end zone, his hand was tipped, but it's like he just didn't look good overall, man.
Yeah, I kind of same thing with Bo. With any rookie quarterback, give him time to develop. You could kind of see some flashes, in my opinion, of why they drafted him first overall, like Caleb.
Yeah.
But like again, some of the the offensive line is atrocious for the
It's
Bears,
bad. Oh my
and
God.
it's like, dude, it's bad. They almost had that Hail Mary going into the half for
That's
DJ
my
Moore.
point.
If they would have completed that, I mean, that would have been the difference in the game. You
Yeah, no,
know.
I think they win the game
Mm-hmm.
because I'm
I
not gonna. They win the game.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Like I was a big believer in Anthony Richardson, and again, kind of the same thing. Like this is really his rookie season, but dude, he has not looked good at all. I saw something where it was like he can launch this ball and he can hit him on these 45,
You
50-yard
feel me?
passes,
Like, yeah.
but like he cannot hit anything else.
Anything short in the middle of the field, like it's bad. It's like, God damn. I mean, Candy, he only threw the ball 20 times though. I mean, it's just it's hard, like you said. Like the training wheels are still on, and I will say that pick, his hand, it was batted, but I'm like, you got to throw that ball out of bounds. Like he was trying to fit the ball in that spot, and it wasn't even open. But Caleb, yeah, man, the offensive line for the Bears is it's beyond bad. I mean, I had concerns going into the year. I said, I mean, that's the only knock I had on their team. I said, I'm not gonna lie to you. I just don't. I need to see this line. Said everybody thinking that they're gonna be this playoff team. I'm like, I have to see how this line looks, and the line is god awful. I mean, it's horrible. Caleb was out there running for his life in the first quarter. I'm talking about running for his life. I'm like, oh yeah, this is 52, 50. He threw the ball 52 times in his third career game
Yeah, dude, and Swift is basically non-existent as well. Like, I mean,
because
it
there's
has a
no
lot to do.
line.
Yeah, as we said, it has a lot to do with the offensive line, and it's like you brought him in to be the guy, and it's like the offensive line is trash.
I mean, it's a dumpster fire. Like it's the worst line in the league. I'm sorry. I mean, bro, Caleb, bro, they're lucky he only got sacked 4 times. It wasn't him being able to launch the ball down the field, throwing it out of bounds. Like he probably would have had another 8, 9 sack day. Like it was that bad. And they don't even have DeForest Buckner, and they was giving him work. I mean, bro, it's like I don't even know what else you could do. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how they're gonna survive because I'm looking at their schedule. They got the Rams. I mean, they got 2 winnable games next with the Rams and the Panthers. You got the come. I mean, and then you got the Jags. But with this line with Caleb, man, I just don't see how he can manage. Like it's that bad. I mean, people gonna look at the stats and say, I mean, he had a good day throwing. Somewhat, he threw 360. But I mean, he had 300 yards, but he threw the ball 52 times. And I mean, like playing. I mean, the Colts are a pretty good defensive team, but like imagine they play a team that can score the ball. Like they're gonna get routed, and that's just kind of what it is. But I will say shout out to their defense too. Their defense stuck in there. Jalen Johnson had Pittman in a box once again, 4 catches for 36 yards. Even though the offense was kind of limited, but shout out to him again. But yeah, man, this game was, I think, in my opinion, what the worst game of the day. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was ugly,
easily,
man.
easily.
Yeah, it was filthy. Like it was nasty, man. That was a nasty win for the Colts, but they get their first win of the year. Moving on to the next game, Ryan's team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Chargers travel to Pittsburgh. They get the win today. I'm sorry, no, they travel to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh gets the win today. Justin Herbert did leave the game, but shout out to Justin Fields, man. I mean, he looked really good today. 25 for 32, 245 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Only sacked twice, quarterback rating of a 96. Steelers did win this game 20-10. They ran the ball pretty well with Najee and Cordero. I like that little 1-2 punch. I want to see Cordero kind of get the ball a little bit more. But I think Najee had a solid day, 18 carries, 70 yards. But I think the story of this game was for sure Calvin Austin. 4 catches, 95 yards, a touchdown. I mean, people was kind of saying that they had a feeling the Steelers offense was going to start opening up. And I think this is what they need. They need a speed aspect. And I think Calvin Austin gives them that. But I liked what I saw passing from Justin Fields today. This was by far, I think, one of his best passing days of his career. I think the other game I'll say was maybe when they played Denver last year with Chicago, when he scored like 28 in the first half and was dealing. But I mean, hey, he looked really good today. Going over to the Chargers, not really much to take away from them. They didn't really run the ball well. Not really much to take away. I mean, Justin Herbert kind of went out. Was it the third quarter he went out?
Yeah, I think something like that.
Yeah, he went out kind of in the third quarter, and after that, they didn't score. So, we'll see what Herbert, but their line has to be better as well. But I mean, yes, shout out to Pittsburgh, man. Hey, look, they're 3-0. Justin Fields, Russell's not getting that job back. Like I said. And I remember telling Ron before the season started that you better pray Justin Fields is his starter because if Russ was the starter for this team, they would not be 3-0. That's all I'm gonna say. But shout out to them, man. The defense looks good, and yeah, they're 3-0.
Yeah, I saw something talking about, man, Russ got plenty of time to stay healthy because he's not going to play. Like, man, you can sit there all season and get healthy because, I mean, by the looks of it, I mean, it looks like
Oh my
Fields
god.
is the one that I mean, like in my opinion, he played a perfect game. The pick was a tip ball off of the
Yeah,
receivers.
yeah,
Like it's like that. That's not on Fields. It's like this is the best game he's played as a Steeler. Dude, it was perfect. Like he did exactly what he needed to do. Um, yeah, I think obviously a lot of it has to do with I think Herbert got hurt. Obviously, I think Alt got hurt late in the game. Bosa got hurt in like the first quarter. Um, and
yeah.
somebody else, another offensive lineman got hurt. I forgot who it was on the Chargers, but um, man, all I know is I was told that Joe Alt was gonna strap up TJ, and
Yeah,
TJ
I
wasn't gonna have
will
no
say,
sort of
yeah, I will
impact.
say my bad. Yeah, I would say my bad. I didn't know what he played. I thought he was left tackle, but he was getting cooked today. But I mean, yeah, he was getting cooked today.
Yeah, that obviously I'm biased. I think the Steelers defense is the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah, stop it, man.
I think
Ain't
they're the
no way.
best defense in the NFL.
Not
Um,
no.
who's better?
I'm taking Vikings and the Broncos over them for sure.
Broncos?
For sure. For sure. Hey man, the stats will tell it.
The same Broncos we just beat?
Y'all beat us 13-6.
A dub is all that matters.
13-6, man. Like,
But
come
yeah,
on now.
yeah,
13-6.
I think Roman Wilson was supposed to play, and he was inactive. So I was kind of looking forward to see what he was going to do. But Calvin Austin stepped up. Again, best defense in the NFL. Um, George Pickens, he does what he does. Najee had a pretty good game. They used Cordero a lot more than I kind of expected them to do.
I
Um,
think they should use more.
yeah, I mean,
Do some
I
more,
definitely
man.
think they should. I just for whatever reason didn't think they were going to use him as much as they did. I figured he'd be more of a kick return type of guy, and that's why we signed him because of the new rules. Like I figured, obviously, yeah, he'd have an impact in the game, but like he had more carries than Jalen Warren did, and I figured Jalen Warren and Najee were going to be like a 1-2 punch, but yeah, I mean, again, it was a great game. Best defense in the league. Justin Fields is the best quarterback in the league.
All right,
George Pickens
go.
best receiver in the league,
Okay. Okay.
and yeah, and that's all I gotta say.
Okay. Moving on to the next game. Uh, moving on to the next game. This game was probably what the game of the day, maybe. I'll say now I give it to probably the Chiefs, but this game was really good. 49ers traveled to LA divisional game to take on the Rams. Rams ended up winning the game 27-24, but oh man, was it a comeback and was it a crazy finish. Matthew Stafford went 16 for 25, 221 yards and a touchdown. Kyron had a pretty solid day, 24 carries, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns, had the crazy front flip. Obviously, the headlines in this game was there was no Cooper Cup, no Puka Nakua, and I picked San Francisco to win. I think Ryan did too. But we both said, don't be surprised if the Rams find a way to win this game. This is what Stafford and McVay do. They make nothing. They make something out of literally nothing and pull off wins like this. And then they'll go out the next week and get blown out. Like this is what they do. Um, Brock Purdy he had a good game, man. I ain't putting his loss on Purdy too much. 22 for 30, 3 touchdowns. I mean, Jordan Mason ran the ball well. Purdy had 40 yards on the ground too. Jawan Jennings, game of his life. Lord Jesus, 11 catches, 175 yards, 3 touchdowns. Brandon Ayuk was basically a no-show today. 5 catches, 48 yards. But I mean, I feel like the Niners play really good. I feel like the defense has to be better. And I feel like that's kind of been the story for them for the first part of this year is that the defense has to be better. And it's kind of starts in the back end. I know I think Ward was out, right? I can't remember I don't know if he played. Let me see. Yeah, yeah. No. Ward played, but I know for sure he was banged up going into this game. I know that a lot of their Bosa limped into this game too, but the defense just has to be better. I mean, 20, I know it's a divisional game, but I mean, you can't give up 27 in how you did. And I know it's like I said, divisional game, but you lost to Minnesota last week, and your defense just has to be a little bit better. But shout out to Stafford and them boys. Shout out to what's the dude on the kick return? I can't think Xavier Smith. Shout out to him. Um, his story is crazy, and he got that crazy return. But I mean, the Rams found a way to get this win. It was a crazy comeback, and I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Kyron Williams needs some more respect. I mean, he's basically like almost the whole offense today. We being completely honest with you. I mean, yeah, Stafford threw the ball around, but this dude is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of covered everything. I thought Demarcus Robinson was gonna have more of an impact, but whatever. I mean, they got the dub. 49ers completely choked the game in the fourth quarter. I mean, you can't really say nothing else about it, you know. Um,
Yeah.
IU got to step up as well. I mean, you got that fat bag, and it's like I get it,
Yeah,
like
and
you're
like
trying to get back into it, but dude, like no Debo, no Kittle, no
you're
CMC.
dropping
I think
passes.
Trent got hurt, and then he ended up coming back in as well. So I mean, that's whatever. But like, dude, you let Juwan Jennings outperform you like massively, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like Juwan is a good player, but it's like, dude, like if like you were supposed to be the number one guy for San Francisco, and like I get it, you didn't have training camp, you didn't have anything, but yeah, dude, sometimes it just looked like he was non-existent on some of the plays. The only time I really saw him was on that when they were just chucking it back and forth for the last play of the game. He had the ball for a good little bit, and it's like, bro, like where were you the whole game?
Yeah. Yeah, and we're still sitting here taking away from it that if Jake Moody makes this 55-yard field goal, the game is tied and this game could potentially be going to overtime. But the Niners just have to be better at the end of the day. That's just what it is. They're 1-2 to start the year, and I still think I still think they'll be really good. They got New England and Arizona, their next two games, so they have opportunity to bounce back and kind of heal up. But yeah, man. I mean, the Rams took care. The Rams found a way to win this game. Classic Sean McVay Stafford make something out of nothing. They're gonna be a while back getting healthy. They got the Bears next, which is a winnable game. So we'll see how that goes. But moving on into probably me and Ryan's. I want to say this is a game we had a really tough time picking, and it's the game definitely the way the game went, you can kind of see why. The Lions went into Arizona and got the dub 20-13. Um Jared Goff had a really good day, 18 for 23, 200 yards, two touchdowns, had the pick. Kyler 21 for 34, 207, 45 on the ground, and he had a touchdown. Dave Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs, they both totaled it. I mean, their Lions had 187 yards on the ground to the Cardinals 77. Overall, I mean, it was a good day for Marvin Harrison, but I mean, it just came down to the Cardinals not being able to put points up on the board in the second half.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that one play in the I think it was the second quarter. It was like 2 minutes and a second left, and Goff threw a pick, and it was a pick six, and the Cardinals ran it back,
Yeah,
and
nah,
all that.
that was criminal right there,
Yeah,
man.
it's like, man, you stole a touchdown. It had 2 minutes and a second, and man, you stole that touchdown off the board for the Cardinals. And I'm not saying they win the game completely because of it, but like, I mean, dude, like, game's a lot closer. Like, I mean, they obviously could have won it, but I don't know. I thought that was criminal the way they did that. I mean, Montgomery and Jameer. I mean, they definitely 100% the best 1-2 punch running back in the league. I don't know if you saw that celebration Amon-Ra did. It was like the Kai
Yeah, the
Cenat.
dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was funny. I think Travis Hunter did the same thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. But I mean, yeah, like, that's really all I have to take away from it.
Yeah, it was a very defensive game. I think that was kind of the shocking thing. I thought it was going to be more high scoring, especially how the game started out. I'm thinking this is going to be a real high scoring game. But I mean, you look at the Cardinals' last like 7 possessions: interception, punt, turnover on downs, punt, turnover on downs, punt, and then they got the field goal. But I mean, hey man, they just kind of got stalled. And shout out to the Lions defense; they did a really good job in the second half, realizing that Marvin Harrison and neutralizing him a little bit. Not really getting Trey McBride that involved in the game. I mean, I feel like you kind of could have went at him a little bit more. I mean, he had 6 targets, only came down with 3 balls, but I'm surprised James Conner. I mean, the Lions kind of realized that if you take him out the game, let's see what this offense could do, and they did just that. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it from this game. The Cardinals are still a trap team game, so this game, I mean, but both of these teams are just they're kind of the same in a lot of ways. I mean, obviously the Lions are better, but in terms of how they're constructed, they're very similar in a way. All right, yeah. So going to the next game, probably the most enjoyable game I watched today.
You lagging again.
Okay, hold on, give it a second.
Say something.
Yo.
I can hear you now.
All right. I'll start it over again. Shit. All right, going to the next game. Probably the game. I wouldn't say the game of the day, but it was the most enjoyable game that I watched. Baltimore traveled to Dallas, got the win 28-25. Lamar, this is a game me and Ryan. Who'd you pick? Did you pick Baltimore or you pick
Yeah,
Dallas?
yeah. I picked Baltimore.
Yeah, I picked Baltimore too. This is a game I just thought Lamar and then we're gonna win. Just better coaching and a better quarterback, and that's kind of what it all came down to. Lamar only threw the ball 15 times, 12 for 15, 182 yards and a touchdown. And Derrick, it was just they ran all over the Cowboys. Derrick Henry had 150 yards, two touchdowns. Lamar had 87 and a touchdown. And Justice Hill made it. I mean, he had a pretty solid day. Moving on to the Cowboys side of things, Dak went 28 for 51, nearly 400 yards, two touchdowns, QBR 52. Jake Ferguson had 95. CD didn't have the best game by any means, 67 yards. They kind of fed the ball around a lot. Turpin got in there. Tober got a touchdown too. Um, my main takeaway from this game was, like I said, I think from week one. No. It was last week. When Dallas goes down early, they don't recover from it. And that's just kind of what it is. You saw the Ravens decided to take the ball. Well, I can't remember if well, regardless, the Ravens got the ball first. They went down and scored. Dallas didn't do anything. I don't think they did anything. I don't know. I can't remember if they got three on the second drive or not, but I just know. Yeah. Oh, no. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Dallas got the ball first, punted. Lamar got it. Then it was 7-3. Then they went 14-3. And that's when Dallas got literally nothing. A fumble, punt, and then they got a field goal, punt, down, turnover on downs. I mean, it was just, hey man, if Dallas goes down early, they most likely will not recover from it. Shout out to Lamar and them, man. They handle business. They didn't try to do too much, but I think they're gonna need some weapons, later on to contend. But I mean, hey, Dallas defense, I'm not gonna put too much of the blame on them. Like everybody's using Mike Zimmer as the scapegoat right now. And I'm not gonna do that, man. I'm not gonna just cast him out like that. The defense isn't playing well, but I mean, this isn't the same defense. Stephon Gilmore is gone. They don't really have an answer at linebacker. Leighton Vander Esch is gone. I mean, like Deron Bland is hurt. And I mean, that's pretty much it. And I mean, the offense, they're not producing. Like the offense is not moving the ball effectively, especially early in the game. Yeah, they picked it up. I mean, they scored 19 in the fourth quarter. Before that, they had 6 points. Like, I mean, what do you want the defense? The defense is playing. The Ravens is going to put up points regardless. And they didn't score in the fourth quarter. So they left the opportunity for Dallas to come back. I mean, they scored 7 points in the second half. You can't really ask much more out of your defense facing Lamar Jackson. So, I mean, hey, man, Dallas offense, they got to get it clicking, man. They got to find a way to handle adversity and come back from when they're down, because it just looks like right now that CD and Dak, they're all in their heads right now. That's what happens when they get down. Hey, look, we saw it in the playoffs when CD and Dak, when they got down to Green Bay, we saw them talking on the sidelines and they looked like they was all out of sorts. You kind of saw the same thing today. They get in their heads when they're down, man. They're a team that has to get up to a hot start, and when they don't, they have days like this.
Yeah, I thought this is exactly why they brought Derrick Henry into Baltimore. I mean, dude, they fed him, and dude, he he played very, very well, and I thought it was funny because I think it was the two teams that were in the biggest, I guess, conversation for him were the Ravens and the Cowboys, and I don't know if somebody else was, but I'm pretty sure like those two teams were like some of
Yeah,
the
nah, it
biggest.
was no, it was those two.
Mhm.
It was the Ravens and it was the Cowboys, but the
Yeah,
Cowboys didn't want to pay him.
it's like, dude, I mean, they should have. I mean, they have no sort of running game at all.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
bad. 51 total yards of rushing. Dotto was the leading rusher with 32 yards.
yeah, I think CD's fumble had a lot, was a huge momentum, like just breaker. I mean, they probably would have got a touchdown at least, um, and he fumbled, and I mean, dude, I think Brady even said, he was like, dude, you gotta hold on to that, you gotta hold on to the ball. Like, you could see, like, I thought it was funny, like you could see, like Brady was like, Brady's still ready to go back in there. He was chewing CD out for a couple of seconds, and then you could tell he was like, "Man, I'm an announcer. I need to stop. Like, I need to." Like, he was like, "Man, CD, you gotta hold on to that ball." Blah. And I was like, "Damn, Brady, like you gotta go down on him." But yeah,
Yeah, nah, he's right though, man. You
yeah,
got to like, I mean, because you catch the ball and you really you have to get down in that moment because you should know like the guy's gonna try to punch the ball out. That's next. That's what's coming. You got to hold on to that ball and yeah, man, Dallas, they seem like they can't handle adversity. That's just really what it is, man. I mean, look, you can try to put the blame on the defense all you want to. It's not the defense. I mean, bro, Mike Zimmer, I mean, they're working with what they got. They have no corner outside of Trayvon Diggs, and Trayvon isn't even a man corner. So you have to run zone. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, what you want Micah and D Law to get home every single play? Like, I mean, come on, man. Like the secondary is garbage. They have no. They let Stephon Gilmore walk. That was not on Gilmore. They decided that because didn't he go to Minnesota for like 1 year, 5 million?
yeah, he's in Minnesota, and it's funny because now they got the second best defense behind the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You see what I'm? Okay, no, nah, no, not finna let you get away with that. But anyway, no, like I mean, and you look at them, man. It's just like they're playing Kalen Carson, and then I don't even know who's the other corner, Jordan Lewis. It's just like, come on, man. You you can't go out there and Trayvon Diggs got cooked for the game winning play. He's not a man corner, so you're already running out of Mike Zimmer. He wasn't really that much of a zone guy in Minnesota. And it's just, I mean, it's tough, man. I mean, I'm not gonna put this blame entirely on this defense. Yeah, they didn't. They're playing the Ravens. This is one of the best, this is one of the most well coached teams. Like, yeah, they scored 28 points, but I mean, Dallas, you got to do better. You had possessions. You got the ball first. I forgot they got the ball first. You had the chance to go out there, and I understand the Ravens have a good defense, but hey, man, you want to contend and label yourselves as a contender. You gotta do better in these type of games, man. And they still lost by 3 points at the end of it. They still lost by 3 points, so you can blame the defense you want to, but hey, man, they showed up in the second half.
Yeah, I think you could kind of go either way with it. The Ravens need they took their foot off the gas completely. It's like,
They
dude, put,
did.
and I think Lamar even said after the game, he was like, man, we took our foot off the gas, but like it's okay, we got the dub. Like you could tell he was pissed about it. Like you could tell he was like, man, we need to push these people into the ground until they're dead, they're gone, they're whatever. It's
Yeah.
like also, man, we have a new best kicker in the NFL.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah. Brendan Aubrey,
he's a
man.
weapon.
This dude is ridiculous.
Dude, and it's like I think Tucker missed like a 48-yard field goal. He's in his head completely now. It's like, and in my opinion, Tucker is the best kicker in NFL history. You can disagree if you like. Um, dude, he's in his head completely now. It's like he's missing 48-yard field goals, and I get it. It's a 48-yard field goal. It's not like it's a chip shot, but like, dude, like you're Tucker, like you're supposed to make damn near everything. And it's like, I don't know how many he's missed this year, but like I know he's at least missed 250
He's missed a
plus.
lot.
Yeah, and then obviously the one today at the 48, I think it was 48 yards. Brandon Aubrey is, dude, he's a weapon. He made a 65-yard field goal. I really wanted them. I think it was week 1 against the Browns. They were going to let him attempt a 71-yarder. I just wanted to see it, dude. Like I just wanted to
Yeah,
see if you could
yeah,
do it, but
yeah. Justin Tucker so far has missed 3 field goals in the first 3 games. I mean, that kind of just speaks for itself right there. But shout out to Brendan Aubrey. Yeah, definitely he's the best kicker in the league right now. I mean, this dude is kicked a 65 yarder today, drilled it. Like,
dude, like it's nothing too. Like he just doing like it's nothing. Like it's casual. Like it's a little extra point.
yeah, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like that. And that's another thing, man. Dallas just has to do. I mean, I don't know. Like, in one thing I will say, transition to Baltimore. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think they're letting their foot off the gas because they don't want to expose themselves. I mean, when you look at the receiver numbers, Nelson Aguilar 1 catch 56, Charlie Kohler 1 catch 30, Rashad Bateman had 3 catches for 28 yards and a touchdown. Derrick Henry had the 1 catch. Justin Hill had 2 catches. Zay Flowers had 3 catches for 20 yards. And Andrews wasn't even a factor. One target, he put up a donut and likely had 1 catch for 4 yards. They're gonna need, and I know the game plan was probably to establish the run, but they need a weapon like ASAP. I know there. I mean, Michael Thomas is out there, Hunter Renfro's out there. I mean, you need someone that you can give Lamar. And I'm not saying those guys are, are just gonna break them wide open or anything like that, but they're better than what you got. I mean, they are. I mean, you can say Michael Thomas. I mean, we'll see, but I mean, you can get those guys right now for the minimum. I mean, why not bring them in, man? Like, because I mean, you got to give Lamar some type of help.
Yeah, I get your point of they weren't really trying to expose everything. Dude, they almost got exposed. They almost lost.
They almost
It's
lost.
like, dude, like I get it. You're not trying to expose nothing, but like you up 28-6 with 12 minutes left in the third quarter. Dude, they almost lost. They almost choked. And if they would have choked, we would have been having the conversation of they 0-3 right now,
yeah,
going
nah,
to play in Buffalo next week. It's like, dude, like they like yes, it's obviously like yeah, they won, so like we can be like, okay, well, they made the right decision. They won at the end of the day. But it's like, dude, they almost messed around and lost. That was my biggest concern is like uh not that they almost choked and lost and all that, but it's just like the aggressiveness of like they just took the foot off the gas with 12 minutes. And I'm glad to see Lamar come out after the game and say it too, because I was thinking it the whole fourth quarter.
yeah, it's. I definitely think moving forward, though, you got the Bills and the Bengals, so you can easily go to 1-4. Is it? They got picked off by Justin Simmons again. Shout out, they dog. Kirk Cousins had a really, in my opinion, I think he had a solid day. 20 for 29, 230. Had a touchdown, threw a pick though. But yeah, I mean, Rasheed Rice had a really big day. 12 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. Drake London, I thought, had a really good day as well. Mooney and Pitts. Um, my main takeaway from this game was honestly, they Atlanta got screwed and then screwed themselves. I say that's the biggest takeaway. The Chiefs, in all honesty, yeah, in all honesty, man, the Chiefs at the bare minimum should be at least 1-2, possibly 0-3. If y'all want to have that discussion, I mean, look, they're not, they're 3-0, but a toe from Isaiah Likely. The Bengals defensive pass interference, the Falcons defensive pass interference. I mean, we're talking about the change. Like, we could really have a discussion in their next three games of the Chargers, the Saints, and the 49ers. This conversation could be completely different from Kansas City. And I'm not gonna lie, they're not playing really good football. Like, they're not. I wouldn't. They're playing good football, but they're not playing the football that we're accustomed to. And Mahomes even said, like, he's not playing his best. And I think they're not getting Kelsey involved is a big factor. But I'm not gonna lie, they have gotten bailed and they have gotten criminally lucky. But like I said, the Falcons, they screwed them. They got screwed and they screwed themselves. You can't call that play on 4th and 1 and on 4th and inches, as a matter of fact. And if you're Tyler Algier, you cannot miss that block. That is your lead block. You're supposed to block in that gap for Nick Bolton or whoever's supposed to shoot through there, and he just completely missed it, and it ended up costing him. But in that moment, you run the sneak or you run a boot play action. You do anything else besides pitch it to your running back left. That is the worst call that could have happened in that moment. Um, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. The Chiefs got lucky again. I mean, last week they got lucky, and I feel like the Ravens game they got were a toe away from going to overtime. And I mean, it's just, I mean, we could be having a completely different discussion, but I think the Chiefs have a lot to fix more than what people realize. The defense is playing subpar. It's playing okay, how it usually does, but the offense has got to be better. And they still find themselves at 3-0. But I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, before I kind of give my opinion about it, I just want to get your opinion on the. Do you think that it was a defensive pass interference on that one play with Kyle Pitts?
I think it was, yeah. And I think, I think it was. And the refs just got to see that. I feel like with the Chiefs, they don't review the same as they do with other teams. I'm not saying that they're cheating, but there definitely is a process of them not reviewing as much with the Chiefs as they do with other teams. Like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff in the Chiefs game that just goes by that they let slide that shouldn't be like that. You feel me? Like, I do feel that way. Like, if that's any other game, they're reviewing the hell out of that.
Yeah, I also kind of thought it was DPI as well. He didn't even turn his head around at all. Like he didn't even attempt to go after the ball whatsoever. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
dude, it was a bad call. Granted, I mean, kind of like you said, Atlanta kind of shot themselves in the foot as well. I mean, I'm not gonna say that the Chiefs were getting all the calls and the Falcons got no calls whatsoever.
yeah. Falcons
But
got
I
some
mean,
calls.
That was a big miss. Like that was a big miss. But yeah, kind of going in just the whole game plan. I mean, I thought Carson Steele played solid, but with that being said, I thought missing Isaiah Pacheco really was very noticeable.
Pivotal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very noticeable. Besides Rasheed Rice, I mean, they really didn't have anybody as a weapon. Shout out Juju Smith-Schuster with his touchdown. Shout out. Um, yeah, I mean, I thought the
Yeah.
defense looked solid. Nick Bolton, I think, is one of the most underrated players on defense in the NFL. Um, he's good. He's really good, and I just don't think he gets enough credit.
Yeah, he's for sure top three, top five linebacker in the game right now. But I will say, I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if you paid attention to this, but is it just me or does Kelsey look very unmotivated?
Yeah, he just kind of looks slow. Um,
Like I'm not saying his performance, like him, his body language. Like it just seems to me that like he just seems like I'm out here playing. Like it doesn't seem like the Kelsey that we know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's just not getting the ball. Like I don't know if he's like hurt or something, but this is just like he's even on the sideline. He usually kind of pumped up, involved, and it's just like he's standing to the side always. Like it just seems very different. I don't know what's going on there, but it's weird. Like usually maybe there's some weeks like last year he didn't get the ball a lot, but like I mean this is kind of almost inexcusable. Like he's not getting the ball. Like and I don't know what kind of the game plan is there. Like I mean he got 5 targets, 4 catches for 30 yards, and he's I mean like the first 3 games. I mean Kelsey doesn't even have 80 yards yet. Like it's bad. I mean, I don't know why he's not getting the ball, but I mean, 5 targets in the first game. I mean, 5 targets this game, 3 targets against the Bengals, 4 targets against the Ravens. And I mean, I and he said I put the slow start on me. He said that after the last game, but I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like Andy Reid usually puts him in positions to get open. So I don't know.
yeah, I kind of think maybe the script writers have it where they just don't want to see Taylor Swift anymore. So they're taking it out on Travis. Um,
Crazy.
nah, I don't know. I kind of just think, I don't know. Like I agree with you where it's like, I wonder if maybe they just don't have him in the game plan as much, and they just kind of cruising, waiting for the playoffs at this point, because you know he's gonna show up in the playoffs. You know, like
Yeah.
like you know he's gonna show up. I think like I really think this might be the Kelsey we gotta kind of get used to. Like you might see like a game where he kind of pops off for a couple touchdowns and like a big game from him. But like I really think like they're just kind of letting him chill and do his own thing and just kind of like I'm not saying they're not trying to involve him in the game plan, but like exactly like you said, like I saw the same clip where he was talking about himself starting slow. It's like I just really think they just preserving him for the playoffs and I don't know. I kind of, especially after the first game, I thought Worthy would be a little bit more involved in the offense. Like besides Rasheed Rice and maybe Carson Steele, like they really didn't have anybody in the obviously Mahomes, but um, they really didn't have any weapons that kind of like stepped up. Like I really think Pacheco going down is really gonna come back and like bite him in the butt.
Yeah.
Going back to the Falcons. Um, yeah, dude, Drake London. I think he's solid. He's good. Um, Kirk still doesn't really look like he's fully healthy in my opinion. He looks better than he did week one.
It's no mobility. He's not
Mm-hmm.
moving around at all.
Yeah,
But I mean, his arm is still good. I'll give it that. Like, yeah, but I mean, the Falcons, they just I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like the defense is playing well. Shout out Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates. They're insane. But I mean, outside of that, you can't just go to five. I mean, 5 guys got the targets on offense. Um, and it means all their playmakers, but Falcons just should have won this game, plain and simple. I mean, I felt like they had every position to win this game. I mean, I honestly feel like if you go for the field goal instead of going for it on that fourth down, and then you get that stop and get the ball back, you win the game. And it just allowed me maybe like you're like, well, maybe if they don't get if Kansas City gets the ball at the 30, they're able to chew the clock or whatever the case may be. But I feel like you trust your defense in that point. But it's just you know an if moment, but I feel like you take the points in that situation because you're setting yourself up to go for the touchdown, and then you make the boneheaded decision to do the to do the toss. But I feel like Atlanta had this game won, man, and it's tough, but because I ain't gonna lie, if they did this against any team, they could probably move on. But the fact is, the Chiefs, and they could have been the team to get them. You know what I'm saying? Because this was a game that they should have been got. So
Yeah, in hindsight, it's way easier just to be like, yeah, they should have done this, they should have done that. I
yeah, but
completely agree with you. Of like, I was thinking, man, just kick the field goal, let your defense go out there. The defense is the best part of their team. It's like let your defense go out there and just get a stop. And it's like if I understand because let's say the Falcons kick the field goal and the Chiefs get the first down, need the ball out, and the game is over. We can be sitting here talking about, man, the Falcons weren't aggressive enough. They weren't trying to go for the win. They just kicked the
exactly.
field goal.
Yep.
So like I understand it. Like I understand just go for it all and just get the touchdown. And if we miss, we live with it. But like at least we tried. Like I get it.
Yeah.
Like I understand the thought process. But like I don't know. Like I really thought
Yeah.
at that time, just kick the field goal, put your defense out there, and just get the ball back and go down there. And all you needed was a field goal at that point.
Yep. But I think that'll do it. That's gonna do it for this episode of What Are the Odds podcast. This is
Here,
episode 6.
I got a couple questions for you real quick.
Oh man.
Just one
Go ahead.
question. Just one question. Let's say that the
Here we go.
no, it's a for real question.
Okay,
Like I promise I'm not BSing. Let's say the Bills win tomorrow. All right, let's just hypothetically say that. Who's the best undefeated team in the league right now?
Who is all? Let me see. All undefeated. So you got the. Let me see. So if they win tomorrow,
Yeah, yeah. So if hypothetically, if the Bills win tomorrow, let's say I think it's the at that point it'd be the Chiefs, the Seahawks, the Steelers, the Vikings, and I think that's it. And then if the Bills win tomorrow, they'll be undefeated. So that's what 5 teams.
I would go with it's out of Buffalo and Minnesota for me. I would go complete team wise, maybe Minnesota because of what they are defensively and the weapons that they have. So like the weapons that you got Jettas and they're playing as well. You got Aaron Jones, and just wait till you get those guys coming back like Addison and Hawkinson, and then just how they're playing now, man, offensively and what they're doing defensively. I mean, they have the highest point differential, no, the second highest point differential in the league at 55. The only other team that's there is the Saints right now, and that's because they got the blowouts and everything. But I mean, they're they've allowed only 30 points. I mean, it's the Vikings, man. I'm sorry. I mean, they beaten solid competition. The Niners and the Texans are kind of as good as it can get. So I would say the Vikings. What about you?
Um, Obviously Steelers is the easy answer, but
My
yeah,
God.
I mean I agree with you. I think I would have said the Saints if they would have won today,
Yeah, I would have too.
but I also again um I'm gonna go with the Bills just to be different. I don't want to agree with you. I think that's kind of boring. Again, I would go with the Vikings. I just don't want to agree. I think the Seahawks are extremely underrated as well.
I don't like
Um,
the way Geno's playing though.
mm-mm. But I mean, I think that defense is again legit, and all the weapons around him are legit. I mean, like you got your backup running back stepping up, looking like one of the best running backs in the league the last
Yeah,
couple of weeks.
yeah. The
So,
only thing with them is they haven't really played competent competition yet. Like they're the next game, Monday night at Detroit, we gonna see Seattle for what they are. So we gonna see Geno for what he is.
hmm. I'm excited for when the Steelers win the Super Bowl this year after starting out 3-0. That's all I gotta say.
All right. Okay. Yep. Nope. No, we're not doing that. But yeah, okay. Okay, Mr. Super Bowl. But that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to leave a Make sure to leave a like, a comment. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. This is episode 6 of What Are the Odds podcast. I'm your host, JMX, with my other host, Ryan. To the next one. Peace out.